USAA to be its preferred provider of insurance and financial services in 2010. The decision was studied closely, but it was an easy one. After all, the two organizations had so much in common that it just seemed like a natural fit. The American Legion was founded in 1919 by World War I veterans looking to solve a problem: care for the sick and wounded of the war and their families. USAA was founded by veterans holding a strong mission to facilitating the financial security of military families and its core values of service, loyalty, honesty, and integrity. Before joining USAA in 1994, Major General Joe Robles had a decorated 28-year Army career. He rose from private to Major General, serving in Vietnam through Iraq, with assignments that included Commanding General of the Army's 1st Infantry Division and Director of the Army Budget. He was known as a blue-collar general for the connection he had with the troops. General Robles served as CFO of USAA for nearly 13 years before becoming CEO and president in 2007. He has since led USAA to its best performance ever. In 2009, the Christian Science Monitor named Robles the #1 veteran in business. He was inducted to the Gerardo Alger Association of Distinguished Americans. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome General Joe Robles.
Thank you for that kind introduction, Commander Couts, and good morning, fellow Legionnaires. I bring you warm greetings from more than 25,000 USAA employees who come to work every day to serve service members, veterans, and their families. I truly believe that the way a nation honors and cares for its military veterans reveals the character of that nation, its priorities, and its values. The very existence of the American Legion for the better part of almost a century tells me what I need to know about the character of the American people. We at USA were so proud 3 years ago to become the preferred provider of financial services to the American Legion, and we've been honored to work alongside you in the cause of increasing the hiring of veterans and military spouses. As our commitments wind down in Iraq and Afghanistan, more of our service members are streaming home and returning to civilian life. In fact, between 2011 and 2016, some 1 million veterans will take off their uniforms. I'm sure that many of you have vivid memories of your own journeys back to civilian life. As you know, it's not always seamless, switching careers and integrating into a completely different world full of new variables. This adjustment can be especially tough for those who return home with wounds both visible and unseen. Todd Nelson was an Army Master Sergeant who spent 19 years in the U.S. Army. A suicide blast in Kabul, Afghanistan in 2006 critically injured Master Sergeant Nelson. Since his medical retirement, he has had 40 reconstructive surgeries. That's right, I said 40 surgeries. But beyond the incredible physical obstacles Todd Nelson also faced, many of the same adjustments that other veterans face, he's had to overcome. Listen to what he told our new employee orientation class recently back at USA. Would you please run the clip?
But now that I'm out, okay, I've got to decide what to do. Now, most of the time it involves a relocation, but more so the retirement, while it's not bad, it's usually not enough to have a decent quality of life. So most of these retirees are going to be looking for work again. And by the way, did I mention that they put their entire life on pause for 20 years, up to 20 years, sometimes 30, that they're not necessarily competitive in the civilian market anymore? Although they have a lot of intangible skills, they don't speak the language of the civilian sector. It's a very challenging time for the military as they exit, because they put all of those skills on hold, and they haven't been working on them during that time, because it was hard enough just to keep up with the pace of active duty military. So, you ready to deal with that? Because that person right there is stressed out to the max. Now, what am I gonna do? This is all I've ever known. I don't even have a wardrobe, okay? I've been wearing the same uniform for all these years, okay? And I'm gonna tell you, in my particular case, one employer out of dozens and dozens of job fairs and unmentionable number of applications, one employer reached out. Because if you can't tell, I've had something pretty bad happen to me. And it's probably not a good thing, and there's probably some risk associated with it. So we're gonna have a little bit of hard time taking a risk on somebody when there's thousands of people lined up behind them. One agency stepped up, and that was USAA. They took a risk. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna stand up for that risk.
I'm happy to say that today, Master Sergeant Nelson is a USAA employee. Todd helps lead USA's effort to recruit other wounded warriors, and he does an absolutely terrific job. Of course, military service can also be a family affair. We cannot forget that the spouses of service members have their own career challenges. Chrissy Johnson is a senior member service advisor at USA who followed her Army husband from permanent change of station to permanent change of station. Chrissy told us this: no one really wants to hire you when your resume is 3 pages long and you change careers every 2 to 3 years or so. For all the Chrissy's and Todds out there, opportunities seem to be getting a little brighter lately, as you heard the Secretary say. In recent months, we've seen an impressive mobilization of organizations in both the public and private sectors to hire veterans and military spouses. Like the American Legion, USAA has become an active member of the U.S. Chamber's Hiring Our Heroes initiative, as well as the White House's Joining Forces initiative. Seeing to it that it is a smoother transition into the work world is especially close to home at our company at USAA. That's because more than half of the separated veterans that have recently separated happen to be USA members. So we have the opportunity to talk with them every day and learn about their hopes and their fears and their questions. I'm happy to say that making veteran hiring a national priority is already paying off. At the end of last year, unemployment among post 9/11 veterans was around 10%. Today it's just above 7% and hopefully getting better. More and more employers are discovering that veterans make great employers. They're trustworthy, they're hardworking, and mission-oriented. They're great followers and even better leaders. You all know that better than I do. This year at USA, we upped the ante on our hiring goals. Our goal for 2013 is that 30% of all new hires will be a veteran or a spouse of a veteran. As a matter of fact, since 2005, we have hired 7,300 veterans or spouses of veterans at USAA. Thousands of other organizations around the country are setting their own hiring goals, and it's having a real impact. The biggest danger today is that we in the private and public sectors let veteran hiring move back to the back burner. The truth is, we still have a lot of work to do. Hiring veterans and military spouses is only step one. Step two involves helping them find the right job and the right careers to leverage their skills and experience. If you talk to recent veterans like we do all the time, many will tell you that they often take the first job they can find to help make ends meet. They tell of going through 2 or 3 jobs before they find the right fit. This nomadic experience can sap their confidence and take a toll on their families. At USAA, our approach to veterans is essentially to hire them, connect them, and develop them. One of the ways we've done this is the creation of developmental programs made up entirely of veterans. An example would be our Combat to Claims program or the Junior Military Officer Career Development Program. In these programs, veterans start together as a cohort. They train together and can turn to one another when they need help adjusting to the civilian marketplace or workplace. We also give our veterans access to mentors and people who have already gone down the path they're about to embark in. We even have an online veteran community called the VetNet that lets veterans and military spouses discover professional development opportunities or just connect socially with one another. What all this indicates is that hiring a veteran or military spouse is the easy part. Helping them discover promising careers requires more effort, but it's absolutely well worth it. We've come a long way since the days of Vietnam, when many returning veterans were met with, at best, indifference. I certainly remember clearly, like it was yesterday, that back in 1970, I returned from my tour in Vietnam to attend college, finish my degree at Kent State University, a couple of days after the killing of the students there by the National Guard. A couple of young women walked up to me because I was in uniform reporting in. I was assuming I had to wear my uniform for the first part of my orientation there. And a couple of young women came up to me, reached behind them, smiled a little bit and said, "Hey, soldier boy," and threw a balloon right in my chest with paint on it. Today, veterans are more likely to get a hearty handshake and a thank you for your service. But true appreciation demands more than words. It demands action on all of our part. With the help of organizations like the American Legion, we have been mobilizing as a nation to help ease the transition of recent veterans. But we should not and cannot rest on our laurels. There is much more work to be done giving our veterans and spouses the kind of career opportunities they deserve. How we persevere in these efforts speaks volumes about our national character. Thank you for your leadership in helping our veterans towards a successful transition. Thank all of you for the work you do to support veterans and their families in our communities. God bless America. Duty first.